And we're live, mate. We're live.
Happy days. How are we doing, Josie? You all good?
Yeah, all good, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good. So, afternoon football news, UK fans. So, today we're going to be doing our European review. We're going to be covering a lot of results. La Liga, Eredivisie. We're going to be doing Liga, and then we're just going to be talking about various teams, guys. First things first, though, what I want to say is thank you so much for all your support. So that's 152 subscribers now that we've got. I can't believe the support that we've got, and honestly, me and Sean are so grateful. It's unbelievable. We can't thank you enough. So um, let's hope it continues, and we're looking forward to a good episode today. So Sean, the European
Yeah.
review then. So, been looking forward to this, been looking obviously at the results at the weekend. So we're going to start off about Atletico Madrid, mate. A brilliant 3-1 win. Simeone and his boys look like they're looking to mount a title challenge this season. Obviously to Barcelona and Real Madrid. What did you make of the result of the weekend, mate? Were you pleased?
Well, I saw the goal, mate. What's his name scored an absolute screamer, didn't he? Depay.
Oh, Depay, yeah.
I saw the goal, mate. It was a rocket.
Yeah.
Very good, very good goal. Just at the stats again. I mean, obviously, they don't really have a lot of the ball, do they, Atletico Madrid, in the way that Simeone sets up. So, 55% for Granada on the ball, but Simeone does it all the time, doesn't he? He plays that way from the back. Hardly any possession, but yeah, he still gets the results in, doesn't he? And you've got to look at the attackers as well, like who they've got. They've got some very good attacking players, haven't they? Atletico Madrid. So, yeah, I mean, Soyuncu signed from Leicester. He's there, isn't he?
Yeah, that's a typical Simeone signing, Sean, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like
we did say that, didn't we? We did say that on the last episode that you said it's a typical Simeone signing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got the job done. 14 goal attempts, seven for Granada. So yeah, it's a good winning start for Simeone's men, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, mate. I think as well. It's like the way I've sort of the way I look at it, mate. Is it? Oh, let me get this sorted here, mate. Wait a second.
There
we
go. You go.
Yeah, bit better. I think the way I get it. The way I've looked at Atletico Madrid again, I watched, obviously some of the highlights, and again, I've made some notes there, Sean, about some of the players that they've got, and they sort of like represent basically what Simeone's all about. It's like Azpilicueta signed from Chelsea. That's a very shrewd signing. They've got Savic at the back. Hermoso, they've got De Paul in midfield. Did a fantastic job for Argentina in the World Cup. They brought in Depay as well. Morata's obviously there. Griezmann is there. And I'm looking at that Atletico Madrid side, Sean, and I'm thinking to myself, do you know what? That could make it a serious challenge to Real Madrid and Barcelona. Simeone, I think I have been critical of Simeone, mate, to be honest with you. I don't think he's always utilised the talent that he's got at his disposal, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is, there's been certain Champions League games that I've watched with Atletico Madrid, and they could have been more attacking. But they've always been very conservative, mate, haven't they? They've always been, let's keep the back door shut first. And I think maybe it's time. I mean, I've noticed as well, Sean. I don't know whether you've noticed this as well. And guys, give us your comments in the comment section. He's been playing, so he's now reverted basically to a back three now, hasn't he? He's playing a 5-3-2 mixed in between. A 5-3-2, 3-5-2, whichever way you want to look at it. And again, I think that. That sort of emphasises where his priorities lie, doesn't it, Simeone? It's very much let's keep the back door shut and see what we can do. But I think with the players that he's got, Depay up front, Griezmann, Morata, I think any club would have them in their changing room, mate. What do you think?
It's similar to sort of Liverpool, how they set up, really, isn't it? I mean, like sometimes they do play three at the back, but attacking players, yes, they've got fantastic players going forward, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like Liverpool. Defensively, though, mate, I know they've brought in, experienced players at the back. That's just my concern for Atletico Madrid at times. Barcelona and Real Madrid. I think they're much stronger on paper as well, aren't they? To Atletico Madrid. So I'm expecting Atletico Madrid, mate, to probably finish third again.
Yeah. I think that would be. Yeah, I think that would be a fair assessment, mate. I think basically it's going to be interesting. I mean, they've got the League, Copa del Rey, and the Champions League to go for. There's no League Cup in Spain, but I think it's going to be interesting to see where they finish. I always fancy Atletico Madrid in the domestic cup competition. They've got a very good record in the Copa del Rey, especially over the last few years. Champions League. I know they reached the 2 finals, mate, against Real Madrid, but recently, mate, they've not quite performed on the European stage. But again, it was a great start for them at the weekend, Sean. But you look at even on the bench here. I've just I noted down some of the players here. That Llorente as well. What a player he is as well. So
Lee came on and scored, didn't he? He came on and scored the third goal. In the 98th minute, so pretty much last kick of the game. I did hear rumours that he was, another player on his way to Saudi Arabia. Now, whether that's true or not, we'll have to wait and see. But it'd be a shame for him to go to there, because I personally am a fan of Marcus Llorente.
Yeah, he's a good player, mate. Good player.
He's a good player.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry, Saul. I remember when Liverpool played Atletico Madrid, didn't they, in the Champions League that year? And at Anfield, mate, he was brilliant on that day, on that night. Llorente was, and I'm surprised. I was surprised, really, that no top team came in for him as well in that summer, because he was doing some really good performances particularly that season. Anyway.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I think all in all, Sean, a great start to the season for Atletico Madrid. And obviously, guys, we're going to be keeping a close eye out on how Simeone and his boys are doing in our European coverage, hoping to get over to Madrid at some point to watch the game. So, stay tuned for that. So, okay, so we'll go across the city now, Sean. We'll go to Real Madrid. Okay, so a 2-0 win, obviously, on the first day of the season. And I tell you what, mate, when I was making my notes for this episode, right, what really stood out, mate, that midfield, mate, is like, in it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous.
What a team!
Absolutely ridiculous, mate. It's like you've got Chouameni, Camavinga, Valverde, and Bellingham in the middle of midfield, mate, playing in the diamond. And it's just kind of like scary, mate. And Ancelotti's last season, Sean, they're going to be competing on 3 fronts, as you know. What do you expect from Real Madrid this season? Because I'm fully expecting, mate, with a lineup like that, with the back four, they look solid at the back. They've got a great dynamic in the middle of the park. They've got players up front who, with Rodrigo, Vinicius Junior, who can hurt you. I'm expecting at least one trophy out of that, mate, without a shadow of a doubt.
Well, with that team that you mentioned there, that midfield, the attacking and the defence, got a good goalkeeper as well.
Yeah.
Courtois, I mean, he is injured at the minute, but I'm expecting them to win the league, mate, with that team. I think they should, with that team that they've got, I mean, it's scary, like we just said, with that team that they've got. It's a mad. Barcelona, they've got a good team as well. Obviously won the league last season, didn't they, under Xavi?
Yeah.
But for me, if you're a Real Madrid fan, you're expecting like the League, Champions League, with Bellingham coming in now.
Yeah.
And the Copa del Rey. So, you've got to go for the treble with Real Madrid, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
With the players that they've got, with the huge club, aren't they? You're expecting to win pretty much everything, aren't you?
Yeah, I think that's a good point, mate. I think basically as well with the way I see it, I think like the recruitment this summer, Real Madrid, mate, has been absolutely brilliant in my opinion, mate. I think you look at the players that they've signed; they've all been young. Arthur has come from Turkey, hasn't he? He's that's a brilliant young signing.
Yeah.
Fenerbahce's come from there. Obviously Bellingham's come in. You've already got a core of young players anyway, and I just think, mate, that I look at that Real Madrid side this year, mate, and I think to myself, do you know what? Yeah, they're going to win the league, and I think they'll do it quite comfortably as well. But my next point is as well, Sean. So we did one of our first episodes on the channel was basically a large part of it was for Jude Bellingham. Okay,
it was.
Mate, what a start! And by the way, what a player as well. Like, mate, do you know what? I want to get your thoughts on this. Right, I've been watching his press conferences, the way he handles himself, the way the way he's on the pitch and everything like that. Mate, his maturity for that age is ridiculous. What do you think?
Well, yeah, for 19 years of age, it is ridiculous, mate. Like the talent that he's got is scary. Going on to England as well. An England international at 19 years of age is, it's some achievement, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he did, obviously he got the move to Dortmund and did really well in Germany. And obviously he deserves to get his move to Real Madrid.
Of course he does.
And obviously with the players around him, like you just mentioned, young midfield, young players around him. Even Vinicius Junior, it's a young team, isn't it, mate? Real Madrid have got a young team.
Yeah.
And it's good. Obviously, yeah, they've got like experience as well, with the defenders as well, which obviously you need in a big team. You need experience as well, don't you? So
yeah,
I think he's just going to get better and better, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely, mate. I think as well. I think it's going to be a massive sort of. Going to be a huge benefit to England as well, mate, isn't it? With him going over there, a new league, a new culture. He's now got big experience in 2 European leagues. It's going to be a lot more competitive in Spain. That's no disrespect to the Bundesliga because obviously it's a good league, but I think in Spain the pressure playing for Real Madrid, what's expected of you, and everything like that, I think will do him the world of good, and obviously England will benefit from that. The more trophies he gets under his belt at club level, Sean, that will transfer to the international scene. I would imagine, obviously, with the winning mentality, how to get over the line. And I think that's going to be massive benefit for England. But huge expectation on Real Madrid this season, mate. With that midfield, honestly, mate, I can't emphasize it enough, Jonesy. Do you know, like when you do like your World 11, when you're having those football chats with your mates in a pub and that. You just look at a midfield like that, mate, and like in 20 years' time, mate, that's going to be one of those midfields where you just look at it and just go, what? Do you know what I'm saying? It's unbelievable talent at their disposal. But fantastic start for Real Madrid. And by the way, Sean, that was a tough game, wasn't it? That's not an easy place to go to, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, Bilbao obviously are a good team, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
The especially away from home as well. They've got some good players as well. So really good start for Real Madrid.
Yeah, definitely. So, going on to the next point then. So that's the 2 Madrid clubs that we've covered. And to round off our first bit of the episode, we're gonna finish on Barcelona, mate, where Spain's concerned. Disappointing result, Sean, wasn't it? Really, 0-0. Obviously, Xavi being sent off from the sideline. With Barcelona, I believe from the outside looking in, all's not well, is it? Still, with the financial side of the club and everything like that. What can you see for Barcelona this season? Do you expect them to be competing for the league, or do you think Real Madrid and Atletico will pull away from them this season?
Well, you've got to look at who they've brought in as well this summer. Who have they brought in? Off the top of the head, I can't think. You've got Lewandowski, haven't you? Who obviously was there already came seasons ago. But
Yeah, the problem is though, Sean, they haven't had the exposure to bring anybody in after Barcelona.
Well, this is it. Financially, they've not got any money, have they? So
there's so many constraints. It's unbelievable. I think from what I see of Barcelona this season, they're going to have to pretty much rely on the squad that won them the championship last year, and basically until the behind the scenes stuff is sorted out, I can't see them. It's just a real shame what's happening at Barcelona, mate. I mean, you can almost can't believe, can you? I mean, what we're in now, we're in 2023 now, and you're looking at like 13 years ago. You're watching the best ever footballing team performance that you've ever seen at Wembley in the Champions League final, and everything like that. And it's just the way it's gone down for them has been unbelievable. The drop off has been unbelievable, not just in the way they operate, behind the scenes and stuff like that, but just in the quality of play that they're bringing in. I mean, it's almost like they're getting rebounds off like other clubs, Sean, isn't it? It's weird. And I think
the good thing about Barcelona, mate, is they've got good young players, haven't they, coming through?
Yeah.
You've got the likes of Balde at left back, haven't you? Pedri, Gavi as well.
Yeah.
But for me, I think Real Madrid are going to win it this season. Just the fact of the players that they've got.
Yeah, the young Turkish lad, Sean, when he got signed by Real Madrid, I think that was a massive sort of sword in the back of Barcelona, to be quite honest with you, mate. I think that was almost like saying, listen, you ain't financially capable to compete with us this season. And I think that's going to do some huge damage. However, what I'd like to say about Barcelona, I think Xavi's done an absolutely amazing job. I think he's done a brilliant job so far. To come in there, to win a league championship, not competing on the European stage as of yet. He's trying to get that Barcelona sort of identity back there, isn't he? And it's going to be a long process, mate. But I think from what we've talked about, Jonesy, I'm going to go for top three in order. I'm going to go for Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and Barcelona. That's the order.
Okay, so you're going to go Atletico second this season. Okay,
I am actually. Yeah, I think Simeone will pull it, and the boys from Atletico Madrid will pull it out of the bag this season. I really do. I looked at the lineup. The lineups before today's episode, Sean, and I was kind of thinking to myself, well, that just looks like a really solid, reliable team. That's the sort of team that you've got a mixture of players. Atletico Madrid, they've got flair players, they've got players who don't mind going to war a little bit and getting it when it gets a bit scrappy. I think they've got a good blend of what you need to be a successful team this season. I expect them to push Real Madrid quite far, to be honest with you. That's my personal opinion.
Well, I'm going to go Real Madrid to win. I think Barcelona will come second, and then I would say Atletico Madrid third.
Yeah. Okay.
Going back to the game, mate. Rafinha got a red card as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, looking at the stats, yes, Barcelona 75% of the ball, which you expect. Only 4 on target. I mean, he had 14 goal attempts, but only 4 on target. I mean, that's yes, he had 10 men, but it's still concerning, isn't it?
Yeah, that in itself, mate, that's not good enough, is it? If you're going to have that much of the ball, and I wouldn't say I'm getting sick of it, but it is quite annoying nowadays, Sean, when people talk about possession is progression and everything like this. But how can it be progression when you get to the final third and you haven't got any cutting edge? It's a waste of time. You can pass it as much as you want. When you get to the final third, it's a waste of time, mate, isn't it? So. You can have all
the ball, you can have all the possession in the world, mate. But at the end of the day, it's all about scoring, isn't it? So, disappointing start for Xavi. Particularly, he got a red card, even more so having a red card as well. So, that's a free game ban now, isn't it?
Yeah, free game ban. Manager. He'll be missed. He'll be missed on the sideline as well, won't he, mate? So, Right, Sean. So that wraps up our sort of Spanish coverage for the first part of the episode. What I want to go on to next, so we're going from the Spanish League to the Spaniard in the French capital, mate, which is Luis Enrique. So PSG versus Lorient on Sunday, 0-0. You know what, mate? Yeah, do you know what? When I was doing the research on this sort of game, Sean, when we was going to do the coverage on PSG regarding Liga, I was looking at it and I was thinking to myself, you know, all right, it's the first game, you know, getting all the players moulded in and everything like that. There's been a lot of players coming at PSG this summer. You've got the Mbappe saga going on in the background, which is just turning into a joke. But still, mate, I'm not being funny. That's a poor result of the weekend, isn't it? Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, very poor result. You know, considering that they were at home as well to Lorient. I mean, 78% of possession again, 20 goal attempts, but again, only 4 on target, mate.
Yeah,
and they didn't even have. They had 11 men on the pitch, which is, you know, very, very concerning.
Yeah.
For that, I mean, obviously Luis Enrique's come in, hasn't he? Like you say, he's got a new job. He's got, you know, very, very high expectations at PSG. So yeah, not the best of starts. And going back to Mbappe, I think he's actually staying now, mate. So that's good news for the PSG, obviously. But
yeah, I'm starting to majorly question that bloke, Sean. I really am. I think Mbappe's got to be dead careful, mate, with the way he's going about his business, because it's like, to me, you know, you look at the way he's going about everything. You know, 1 minute he wants to go to Saudi Arabia, the next minute he's looking to go to Real Madrid. Then he sort of kind of he thinks that PSG is the place to be. In my personal opinion, if he's got any aspirations of being the one of the greatest players in the world right now, and that's ever lived, that he's got to leave Paris Saint-Germain. That is an absolute fact. Apparently, I was doing my research on the last contract talk, Sean, before when he signed his new deal about a year ago. And one of his aims was to basically raise the profile of Ligue, which, to be fair, mate, you can't really argue with that. But you know, it's still not going to be enough, mate, for him to go on and be one of the greatest players of all time. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's no disrespect to the French league. I really like the league. I think Ligue produces some great young players. I think it's got some good teams in there. But the only problem is, at the moment, they're not performing in the European competitions. But I'm sure that'll come. But for Mbappe, mate, I think it's time to you know, get out of PSG and move on to Real Madrid or another big European club. I don't think going to Saudi Arabia, mate, is going to do him any favours, is it?
No, definitely not. You know, you want your top players to obviously stay in Europe, don't you? So,
yeah.
You know, questions are: is he going to sign a new contract at PSG? Because I've heard rumours that he could well be doing that.
Yeah.
Which is good for PSG, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see about that. I mean, obviously PSG fans will obviously want him in the team, but yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, Mbappe for me should go to Real Madrid, like you just said there. You know, he'll fit in perfectly at Madrid with all the young players there. You know, imagine that, mate, Bellingham behind Mbappe in the Real Madrid team.
Well, sure. Let's try and do it like this, right? So you've got the back four, haven't you? Right, of Real Madrid. You know, you've got Alaba and Milito back there. You've got, you know, Camavinga can fill in at left back as well. But obviously, you know, and then you've got Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Valverde, Bellingham, and then up front, mate, you could have Vinicius and Mbappe. I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't it? That's like
you've also got Rodrigo as well, haven't you? You know.
Yeah, just frightening, really. But getting back to PSG, do you think Enrique's got a bigger job on than what everybody thinks he has? Because I believe he has, Sean. Because I was trying to find a comparison, mate. Right, and I want to get your thoughts on this. So winning the league in France is expected for PSG, isn't it? We'll make that quite clear right now. It's expected, isn't it? But if you go to other leagues, like, you know, kind of like, you go to Scotland with the old firm, or you go to the Bundesliga with Bayern, and although PSG have been winning championships, I mean, they won a record 11th title last year. I don't think they've been doing it in the best way. Does that make sense? And I think Enrique's been brought in to do that. But I believe, mate, that he's got a bigger job on than what people think. I think he needs to go in there. He needs to show that he can win domestic trophies on a regular basis. And also, I think he needs to prove that that team is robust enough and has got the character to go into the latter stages of the Champions League on a regular basis. Would you go along with that, or would you disagree with that?
No, I agree. I mean, you know, people underestimate the French league, don't they? You know, thinking it's a farmers' league, if you like.
Yeah.
That expression's been around a long time, hasn't it? So
yeah.
But you've got to think as well, like you just said before, you know, some of the players that come from the French league, you know, they're so talented, mate. It's mad, isn't it? You know, the players that have come in from France, you know, to for example the Premier League and, you know, the Bundesliga, etc., La Liga. Yes, he's been out of work for a long time, hasn't he, Enrique?
Yeah.
You know, but he's still a top manager to have. So for me, yeah, he's going to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders, but that's expected, whoever you are at PSG, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's going to find it tough, mate. It's like I say, it's not an easy league. You know, you've still got big teams in that league, haven't you? You know, the likes of Monaco, you know, Lyon, who by the way got beat again at the weekend, which is not good. We mentioned Lyon, didn't we, in our French preview a couple of weeks back, and we said how disappointing we were with Lyon, and they should be doing a lot better, and not a good start for them. But yeah, going back to Enrique, he's got a big job on his hands, like you say. But I think he'll do well, mate. I think he'll do well.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I think he's got a good chance of doing that. I think basically, you know, Enrique represents the manager that basically what PSG need is. He's intense. He's a disciplinarian. He gets his teams playing good football. He did a great job at Barcelona, and people say the usual. It's easy to go into Barcelona with the team they had at the time, but
yeah.
You know, they were in a transitional moment, Barcelona, at that time. You know, they needed a manager to come in and carry on what Guardiola had done, and and so on and so forth, and he did that. So I think even though the result on the weekend was very, very poor, you know, they should be beating Lorient at home instead of drawing 0-0, mate.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, to draw the game 0-0, I thought was poor, but I think there's a long way to go, and I still fully expect PSG to win the championship this season, mate. I think you know you've got.
No, I agree. Yeah, it's the first game of the season. Yeah, it's disappointing, but like you say, there's a long way to go. Yeah, isn't there in the league? So yeah, disappointing start, but I think they'll win it.
Yeah, I do as well. Okay, so that covers PSG in France. So, you know, guys, please stay tuned. We're going to be giving you the latest update, obviously, on how Enrique's getting on at PSG. You know, what the progress is there. He's got a massive job on his hands, as Sean has just said there. You know, so, you know, are they going to be looking at a treble this season? Are they only going to be looking at domestic success while he rebuilds? Let us know in the comment section, guys. Let us know what you think. So, Sean, moving on to Bundesliga, so Leipzig versus Bayern then. So Harry Kane's first sniff of what German football is like.
Still not won a trophy.
He did. Harry Kane did his usual, mate. He walked past silverware instead of picking it up.
I think he's cursed Bayern already.
Yeah. I think he's like, I think he's sort of like immune to lifting trophies, Harry Kane, for some reason. But I must admit, I watched the highlights of the game, and I tell you what, Sean, Bayern were absolutely dreadful defensively, mate. Honestly, I've
Yeah.
Tuchel's a good manager, and I think like he's got good pedigree and everything like that. And don't get me wrong, they're going to be expected to win the league championship again. For the 12th year on the run.
Yeah.
But I must admit, mate, there's a big job to do at Bayern. There's a lot of rebuilding to do. I thought their performance the other day, mate, against Leipzig was shocking. I really do. I haven't seen Bayern look that vulnerable in a long, long time, mate. I thought the late and Upamecano were in the middle of defence, mate, were dreadful. I thought they were absolutely awful. And I think if
Well,
you're
I've always
European,
said, go on, lad.
yeah, I think if you're other European teams, mate, looking at that, especially with the Champions League coming up. I think mate, that's going to be you looking at that, Jonesy, aren't you? You think you're going like that, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? I think it's
Yeah.
like, you're not going to be frightened of facing Bayern.
Well, Danny Olmo scored a hat trick, didn't he, that night? And he's some player, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's a good player. Leipzig have always got some players, haven't they? They sell them, these players, and then they still get some other players out of nowhere, don't they?
yeah,
And just perform as well as they did. So Timo Werner as well. Obviously, he was there before he went to Chelsea.
yeah. He was.
Didn't have the best of spells there at Chelsea, and then came back to Leipzig, and he's back to his old self, isn't he?
Yeah, shows you,
So
mate. Yeah, I think Werner. I think Werner as well, Sean. I think I don't think he was played in the right position as well. If you look at it at Chelsea, they were always swapping and changing the sort of system, how to get him into the right system. He's gone back to Leipzig, mate, after experimenting at a few different clubs, and I
yeah,
just think he's suited to the way they play, and he proved it against Bayern. What I love about Werner, mate, as well, he's selfless, isn't he? And his runs and his work ethic and everything like that may not be the most sort of like the biggest goal scorer that you'll ever see, but no, he's a really good player altogether. So, mate, what do you expect for Bayern this season then, Sean? Kane's coming, obviously, great signing. No matter that we say that he's completely immune to picking up
yeah,
silverware.
yeah.
But like, what do you expect from
I
Bayern
mean,
this
yeah,
season, mate?
you've
What do you
you've got
expect?
to give him you got to give
Go on,
him a
mate.
benefit of doubt yet, haven't you? So he's not actually even played a
Yeah,
full game yet. It was
yeah,
it was just like it was like the Community Shield in the Germany, wasn't it? Really. So
yeah,
yeah, he came on for the last 10 minutes or so.
yeah,
But for me, mate, I think Bayern's objective is to obviously win the league. You know,
yeah,
with the likes of bringing in Harry Kane for over 100 million. So yeah, it was very close last season, wasn't it? They only won by a point, didn't they?
yeah. I mean,
Dort, Dortmund, they they had who was it they had at home last game of the season? They should have won. They had to win that game. Was it Mainz? Was it
yeah,
Mainz?
yeah. He's minds, yeah, and I think.
I think it was them, wasn't it? Yeah.
Basically, Borussia Dortmund, Sean, basically just kind of went up to Bayern, didn't they? And just went, there you go, there's your league title. Do you know what I mean? They basically just
Yeah,
shoved it away, didn't they? Dortmund,
it's a shame.
Dortmund, Dortmund, Dortmund have got a lot to prove, mate. I think, serial sort of choke artists, mate, aren't they really? At the moment, Borussia Dortmund, and they just can't ever seem to get over the line in no matter what, sort of competition it is. Massive club, but they're trailing so far behind Bayern in terms of trophies won and everything like that. I'm going to be interested to see how that's going to go. But my prediction for Bayern, Jonesy, I think it's going to be a league and cup double this year, mate. I don't think they'll do anything in Europe. From what I saw defensively the other day, mate, they were absolutely atrocious. The Leighton and Bucano, mate, were
Yeah,
awful. It was so
I
bad.
I Upamecano, mate. I don't really rate him, mate. To be honest with you, like
No,
every time I've seen him play, he's always got a mistake in him. I remember
yeah,
when we played Liverpool last season, and yeah, he was just awful, mate. You
yeah,
know, for such a
yeah,
for such a he's got the traits there. He's a big, powerful, quick guy,
yeah,
but he's just got a lot of errors in him, I think.
yeah,
And you know, De Ligt as well. I mean, like we mentioned De Ligt, didn't we, last time? Ever since he moved from Ajax, he's not been the same player, has he?
No, well, you look at the clips of him at Ajax, mate. Obviously in the Eredivisie, with Ajax having a lot of the ball and everything like that. I think he went to Italy, mate, didn't he? It didn't quite work out at Juventus, where your defending has to be sort of, on the ball in Italy, doesn't it? Because predominantly, mate, it's a very cautious league, Italian, Serie A, isn't it? And then going to Bayern, it was a good move for him, mate. But it was kind of like, his career just seems to have come to a bit of a standstill, mate. But it's going to be interesting to see whether Tuchel can get the best out of players like that. I mean, in the top end of the pitch, mate, with Bayern, they're absolutely brilliant still. I think they've got great pace going forward. They've got Kimmich still, who I think is the driving force behind the team, isn't he? And I fully expect him to win a couple of trophies, mate. So, Sean, what I want to do is, moving on from the Bundesliga now, I want to finish on a bit of spice it up a little bit in today's episode, guys. So we're gonna finish this episode off on a star of the future. Okay. So basically, Ajax won 4-1 this weekend, Sean, as you know, right?
Yeah.
Mohamed Kudus, mate, right? Now, I've watched this lad in some Eredivisie games, and he scored at the weekend. Okay.
Yeah.
And mate, I think this lad is going to be an absolute superstar, mate. Honestly, I really, really do. I think he's got so much potential, mate. It's ridiculous. His football intelligence, the way he can break the lines, mate, with his runs into the box beyond the front man. Great asset for Ajax to have. Obviously, they got off to a great start to the season this weekend in winning 4-1. Mate, to finish the episode off, what do you think of Mohamed Kudus then, Sean? Do you think this could be the next big thing in European football, mate?
Definitely, mate. He's very highly rated, isn't he?
Yeah.
But the question is, mate, is he gonna be there still this summer? Because a lot of English clubs are after him. West Ham are actually in talks with him.
Yeah.
Brighton have held talks with him.
Yeah.
And I believe Arsenal might be after him as well, for cover for Saka. So, that just speaks for itself how highly rated he is. All those clubs trying to sign him. So it'll be interesting again to see if he's going to stay or is he going to go. For the talent that he is. I mean, I've seen him play. I've seen him play in for Ajax in Europe, and he does look a prospect, mate. He looks really good.
Yeah, it's just his all-round game, Sean, that I'm finding really, really impressive. I think, people will say the usual, mate, won't they, about the Eredivisie and the sort of league it is. But listen, mate, the Dutch league, let's not be detrimental to it at all. It's got some really, really good young players there, mate, as well, And I think, Kudus is a massive example of that. Yes, he's coming from Ajax. Surprise, surprise, they do. Breed so many good young players, mate. It's like a conveyor belt at Ajax, isn't it? One comes off, the next one comes off. But this lad, mate, I really wanted to finish our episode off on this, Sean, because I get excited about a lot of young players, mate, in the European leagues. And just like we've always spoke about that down the years, mate, haven't we? But
we have,
I generally think, mate, with this lad, I think he's got a massive future. The clubs that you mentioned there, it's interesting because Brighton, should he go to Brighton? I can't see that being really like a beneficial move for him. West Ham, I can see where he's coming from. That they just won a European trophy, so there's a little bit of a, there's a little bit of attraction there, isn't there? But if Arsenal are in for you, Sean, and I know you're an Arsenal fan, but if Arsenal are in for you and the way they're going at the minute under Arteta, Arsenal would be the one that you would go to, mate, isn't it?
Well, surprise, mate, as well. Guess who else are after him as well?
Oh, Chelsea. It's Chelsea as well.
Chelsea.
Yeah. Well, The thing is though, Jonesy, I'm not being funny. Where would he fit in it? Where would he fit in it? Like at Chelsea, Pochettino, especially against Liverpool this weekend, he had his sort of stall set out with Gallagher and Enzo Fernandez in midfield, Sterling playing slightly above, beyond that. I just can't see where he's gonna fit in there. But honestly, guys, what we're gonna do?
So, sorry, Kudus. So today, Chelsea apparently agreed a deal with Crystal Palace for Michael Elise. So he's a sort of similar sort of player, isn't he? Right-winged, left-footer. So I think if Chelsea sign him, then he's not he's not going to go for Kudus now. So
no.
Maybe he might stay at Ajax now. So we'll have to wait and see about that.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I think I'm really, really excited about this player, Jonesy. Honestly, I've been watching a lot of clips of him. His stats are good, mate. Is he going to stay in Holland, mate, to bring back the league championship to Ajax? Who knows? Who would blame him if he did? It's great to win leagues everywhere you go, mate, isn't it?
Well, it's all about titles, isn't it? It's all about titles at the end of the day, isn't it?
Because the thing is, though, Jonesy, and this is what we keep talking about, isn't it? With a young player like Kudus, right? People will say, well, why would he stay in the Eredivisie? Why would he stay, in the Eredivisie to then just kind of like, to win the Dutch league and everything like that, but then sort of like, go to Brighton where he's not going to win. He's not going to win anything. So it's I don't know. It's weird, strange, isn't it?
It is strange, but yeah, I think Kudus will, eventually he'll become a great player in the future.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I totally agree. I totally agree. So basically, Jonesy, that sort of wraps up our European coverage for today. Guys, let us know what you think in the comments section about what we covered today. So, we've gone through the major European leagues. Obviously, the big hitters have all got off to a reasonable start in their own domestic leagues, bar PSG. So, plenty of improvements to be done there from Luis Enrique. So, guys, just to let you know, tomorrow, me and Sean are going to be starting our studio at 9:15 tomorrow morning. So what we're going to do with that, we're going to add a bit of fun to it. So we're going to, show you around early start what we're going to be doing, and we're going to try and make the studio as best as we can so we can improve the content that we're doing, and it's something that we're really excited about. So look out for that, guys. In a bit as well, look out for a couple of shorts that we're going to be doing on last night's match as well. So, United versus Wolves, great result for United, but it'd be great to get United fans' reaction to what happened at Old Trafford last night. Are they pleased with the result? What are they expecting from this season? And just the same with you, Wolves fans as well. What are you expecting from this season? A lot of upheaval gone at Molineux this in the summer, with the manager going and everything like that. Gary O'Neill coming in. So, please engage, guys. Please let us know what you think. But, Mr. Jones, have you got anything to say, my friend?
Thank you again for all your support, mate. And everyone, subscribers, it's been brilliant. And, we're hoping you love the content. And, we're just going to keep on doing this now, aren't we, Saul? And like we say, we've got the studio, getting that sorted for everyone, really. So,
that's it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, happy days, guys. Same from me as well. Thank you very much for all your subscriptions. Thank you very much for all your comments on the videos that we have been doing. We can't thank you enough. Look forward to the videos on the studio tomorrow, and we shall see you soon. Cheers, guys. Cheers, John.
Take care, guys. See you later.